Cultural diversity has been present in societies for a very long time, but different cultures have seldom been on an equal footing in such societies. Multiculturalism is trumpeted by most Western governments as a sign of tolerance, sophistication, and maturity. Yet one must doubt that this is reflected in the opinion of the majority of the citizens in these countries. The idea that within a society different cultures can coexist without tension and with tolerance is an absurdity, especially in today's world where contrasting cultures find themselves in close proximity. Religion is very much entwined with the culture and often leads to extremist views and practices which take no consideration of other cultures. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched from the Scottish borders to the Middle East and had within it many different cultures and religions. It tolerated them so long as they were of benefit to the empire. Many, however, were brutally dealt with when they rebelled against Rome. In today's modern world, one has to ask, does multiculturalism really work, and why many immigrants today find it hard to assimilate, while those in the past had little problem? After the devastation of World War II, Great Britain needed immigrant workers to help fill the gaps left by the loss of men during the conflict. Thousands of West Indians, and East Africans came to Great Britain to do the jobs so sorely needed to be filled. These immigrants did not have an easy time of it. Many faced racial prejudice and discrimination, but they stuck it out, and today their children and grandchildren are as British as any indigenous white person. Why have they been successful? They assimilated enough to be part of the British psyche. They did, however, still retain some of their original culture, their food, their religion, and their music. These attributes have enriched Great Britain greatly. They did, however, work hard and made an effort to integrate. This cannot be said for recent migration from the 1990s onwards. The advent of worldwide multi-channel TV and the internet has opened up the world to the excesses, stupidity, and self-promotion of various Western cultures. All of these traits are, however, part and parcel of a free society, one in which one is entitled to express an opinion, no matter how left-wing, right-wing, or simply absurd it is. We all rely on the voices of the greater good, intelligence, and fairness to shout down these extreme excesses. This, however, does not happen all the time, because in a world of the internet and free ideological exchange, so much exists in cyberspace, it is impossible to defend everything. To defend everything is to defend nothing. The explosion of the internet has allowed the various myths about Western societies and cultures to be manipulated to the advantage of those seeking to destroy the West and its various cultures and religions. The recent European immigration crisis is a culmination of failed Western policies in the Middle East and appalling military misadventure that achieved very little and cost the many lives of military servicemen. It seems Western leaders learned nothing from the Second World War. A multicultural society can really only function when all cultures within that society appreciate that they do not have a monopoly on being right, and that democracy and the right to free speech trumps all cultural niceties, religions, traditions, practices, and rituals. A major requirement for those immigrating to a new country is to understand that the country to which they are migrating to has its own culture and traditions, and to expect that country to bend over backwards and accept the immigrant's way of life without question or concern is not only stupid, it is outrageous. Multiculturalism is on the surface an admirable goal, but on closer inspection a folly. Cultures often exert a very strong force, and when different cultures come together in a society or confined space, and one does not acquiesce to the other, this often results in confrontation. For humans to progress past the various hurdles that culture brings to the table of humanity, humans should discard cultures and embrace interrace and interfaith marriages. Caste culture, and specifically religion, should be thrust to one side. As long as cultural superstition and religion thrive and science is ignored, so long as education has been dumbed down and become politically correct, and our youth no longer taught to question and discuss, but merely to accept, multiculturalism and religion will be the cause of conflict. This is exemplified by the Islamic barbarism being perpetrated in the Middle East by extreme Muslims against Muslims. Other religions have been just as barbaric in the past. Today we are experiencing a forced multiculturalism at the hands of the political elite and corporate mafia for no other reason than power, profit, and political correctness.